Hey everybody, I just want to make a quick announcement. I am starting this podcast in honor of my bro, John, and he passed away very unexpectedly on January 12th. He was a gentle and beautiful soul. He was exceedingly artistic. I hope someday that I can bring to light his works and the work that he worked on. He really inspired me to go into comedy, into producing videos, and into reviewing movies and videos, and into art and writing. And I just want to say I owe you one, John, and I hope one day I can repay. See you later, bro. This is in honor of you. Well, hey everybody, how's it going? So my name is Raccoons. You can call me Maria, and I'm starting this podcast, and it is going to be called The Dashboard Melted, but we still had the radio, and it references a Modest Mouse song. One of my favorites. If you know it, holler in the comments. And this is going to be a very ad-lib, very fun and casual retelling of my fan fiction, The Dashboard Melted, but we still have the radio, which is a story about how the Spooky Squad, Fox Mulder, Dana Scully, John Doggett, Monica Reyes, and or their boss, Walter Skinner, jump the time-space continuum from their universe, which is Universe 1013, in honor of Mulder's and Chris Carter's birthday, to the time parallel universe 616, which you know as the Marvel Universe. It is there they trace a fugitive known as Cable. Heard of him? Well, while pursuing the most wanted man in FBI history, in their universe anyway, they cross the time-space continuum and meet a very strange band of tweens known as the X-Men. Everyone, I want you to close your eyes. You are in the year 2026. Close your eyes. You're falling back in time. All the way back in time to 1996, to 1996 when the X-Files was on. So, our story begins with Mulder getting mauled by a cougar, but not that one. Anyway, so Mulder is getting absolutely slammed by an endangered Florida panther named Karen. Karen was named in honor of a side character from Talladega Nights, one of my favorite movies. It is at this point Mulder knows he is in over his head, because Mulder thinks he can outrun things. He thinks he can outrun a car, he thinks he can outrun a horse, he thinks he can outrun a truck, but he cannot outrun an endangered Florida panther named Karen. As he's getting mauled, he sees in the trees above him, in a little rest area outside of Bonifay, Florida, in the year 1996, he sees the most wanted man in FBI history crouching on an overhanging branch, looking like a phantom among the wisp of Spanish moss. Mulder points his finger at him and he says, "Freeze, Cable," for this is the only way he has ever known this man. Mulder straightens. He gets ready to give his great hero speech. He says, "All right, Cable, it's time for you to get yours." And as Cable looks down at Fox Mulder, the man who has finally cornered him, he says, look at this guy. He's thinking these thoughts. He says, look at this guy. He says, trust no one, and he trusts everyone. He sure trusted me when I scammed him into stopping at the pancake pavilion for breakfast. Pancakes. I love pancakes. Cake. That's a weird word. I like cake. Is that a nighthawk? Cable, says Mulder. Huh, what? Says Cable. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Mulder's like, are you serious? I've hunted you all night. I'm giving my big hero speech and you're really not into this. And he's like, no, please, Mulder. Just give me another chance. He's like, seriously, like a hint of what you were saying in your big hero speech, please. I have a really bad memory. And he's like, you're going down, Cable. He jumps after him, and Cable's like, I don't think so. And he says, get him, Karen. Karen comes back in, tackles Mulder like a lineman, and starts to rip him a new one. Cable runs off and darts away into the trees. As he climbs into the trees, you see a robot following him. A very small, cute robot, shaped like a cupcake. Ribbons that make little bows at the top of her frosting also make her hands and feet as she follows Cable. He says, "Nanny," he calls back to her. "Tell me what time zone we're going into." Nanny says, "All right, but I'm not your pocket pal. We're going straight to the year 2026. Get ready, Cable." "All right, but we better get to a time dimension where J. Edgar Hoover never founded the X-Files." Right. Just make it work, Nanny. Okay. And then Cable pulls out his time spear. He rips a hole in the time-space continuum, and him and Nanny leap through. Mulder! Scully shouts in the way an animal shouts at a mating call, or the way a Pokemon and a rapper can only say their name. Scully's going through the damned Florida heat. Her co-workers and two best friends, and totally not lovers, John Doggett and Monica Reyes, have stayed behind at the Pancake Pavilion, wrestling with another fugitive by the FBI, known as Bishop. Scully looks around. She sees nothing but Spanish moss in the trees. There's a horrifying screech. Ah! A nightjar. The very bog beneath her feet starts to tremble. "That's an alligator," she thinks. She looks at her bare feet. "Those were the cutest turquoise patent leather kitten heels I've ever had." Only Dana Scully could think of shoes at a time like this. She rips off the sleeves of her blazer, and she pulls out her shoulder pads, which are shoulder sharp. She's ready to cave into a fucking Florida panther. But it's at that moment she sees something very strange, and it looks like a... Oh my. Scully blushes. Oh, that portal... Well, I'm a medical doctor, and even though that portal looks like a... something that needs an MA rating, I'm going to be very mature about this. And then she goes, "All I wanted was to take a bath." Anyway, so then Dana Scully goes up to the portal and she pokes it with a stick, and the portal goes... "Oh, excuse me, ma'am. May I go in? I saw a man go in there. He's my partner." Oh my, thought Scully. This is very awkward. I'm like talking to one of Mulder's former lovers. Anyway, I also saw the most wanted man in FBI history, Cable, leap through the portal as well. May I come in? Because, ma'am. The portal goes, and it covers Scully in a very weird smelling goo. Oh my god, fish sticks, she says. Thank you, ma'am. And she crawls through the portal, which looks suspiciously like one of those tubes in a McDonald's play place. When Scully slides down the slide, she's very afraid that she's going to land in a vomit-encrusted ball pit. But she doesn't. She just lands on more piles of moss in the middle of another damn cypress swamp. And that's when she sees a light in the great mist covering the Florida swamps. She goes toward the light. "No, Scully, not toward the light." As she looks around, she goes, "Mulder? Mulder? Mulder?" She's like a beautiful animal calling for her mate. David Attenborough watches her. The female calls him, "Mulder, Mulder." Does he answer Scully or not? No, because the Florida panther has him. So, Scully goes and creeps towards the light, hoping against hope that it's a house in these damned Florida backwoods. Does she know she's going towards the trailer home park of the X-Men? Episode 2 Dose. As Scully creeps toward the light in the Florida backwoods outside Bonifay, Florida, she has no idea that she's crossed the time stream through a very weird-looking portal that makes her blush into the year 2026. No, Scully only knows she is lost in a swamp with only her ninja star throwing shoulder pads for protection. Is Dana Scully afraid? Hell no. I'll kill an alligator and roast it if it inconveniences me, she says. She's working herself into a cute little redhead temper. She goes toward the light. She tries and tries to look inside. It was a trailer, she notices. She climbs aboard a bundle covered with a burlap sack and peers inside of a bathroom. Oh my goodness, says Scully. I am so sorry. I've inserted myself into enough awkward, embarrassing situations tonight, she says. Mulder, you can just sleep in a damn swamp. But it's at that point she notices a great hulking figure trying to hide himself behind the shower curtain. Cable, she says. She would know that ugly mug anywhere. Snow white hair. A patch on his face. One piercing blue eye. And that really cute snowy 5 o'clock shadow. Ooh, those big broad shoulders, thinks Dana Scully. Oh my goodness, did I say that out loud? But she does have a thing for broad shoulders. I mean, God, look at, yeah, okay. It ain't an X-File, everybody knows that. Scully wants to pass on her genes with a studly stallion of a gentleman. But anyway, back to Cable. Cable is cornered in the bathroom by Scully blinks back the mist that has fogged up her little round glasses. Oh my God, she says. 4 tweens are closing in on Cable. One of them is Jubilation Lee, a.k.a. Jubilee, a.k.a. Jubes, a.k.a. Jazzy Jubes. The other one is Sam Guthrie, a.k.a. Cannonball, a.k.a. the most polite kid in Florida. Danny Moonstar, rodeo barrel racing extraordinaire, and the queen of kick your ass if you get in my home. And finally, cute little Leech. Hello, Cable. Get away from me, Leech, says Cable. Oh, God, Nanny, he says to his robot. You forgot to tell me this is the dimension where the X-babies are. It's not my place to tell you where you're going. I'm a nanny, not a secretary, says Nanny. Nanny. All right, Cable, says Jubilation Lee. And she pulls 2 big pink balls of pyrotechnic power out of her fist. Time to die, Cable. Whoa, 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 says Cable. Hey, we can work things out, right? We can work it out. We can work it out. Remember that? John, Paul, Ringo, George, he says, pointing to each of the kids, trying to find the similarities between them and the Beatles. Yeah, I don't see it either. Maybe it'll work when your mustaches come in when puberty hits. Get him, says Jubilee. All of them jump on him. Sam zooms around with his rocket powers. Danny summons up an evil unicorn, one of Cable's greatest fears, to impale him with its psychic, paralyzing power, and Jubilee dazzles him with her fireworks. They've wrestled this giant man down, and now Danny's unicorn is holding him down with a big pink hoof. All right, says Jubilee. We'll forgive you, Cable. Oh, you will? Thanks, kids. Those character classes the X-Men are giving you are really paying off, he says. For these kids, known as Generation X, or the New Mutants, are the students and foster kids of the X-Men who live in a trailer home in Sunnyside, Florida. The X-Men have sworn to a coexistence between mutant heroes with superpowers and ordinary human beings. And they've settled here in the panhandle of Florida to teach other kids with powers like them. Many of the kids are orphans, or their parents have turned them out. And so they live in this trailer home foster home, which is way better than anything Jubilation Lee saw during her 9 previous foster homes, or her time on the streets at Santa Rosa Beach. Oh, finally, they've wrestled Cable to the toilet. Stick your tongue out, says Jubilee. What? You said you forgive me. I said you'd forgive, but we don't forget, says Danny. Now lick the toilet, says Sam. As Scully looks in the back window at what she can only describe as tween justice of 4 cute little tweenagers making a 65-year-old, 300-pound, 6-foot man that had dared to come inside of their home, lick the toilet. She said, "Oh my God, Mulder, I think this is some kind of a satanic cult." Suddenly, the tart Scully standing on shifts and wiggles. Oh my God! And she falls over. She hits her head, and the last thing she sees before the darkness closes in is Karen, the endangered Florida panther, craning over her and meowing in a very concerned way, nuzzling her head and trying to wake her up. But Scully passes dead away. All right, guys, that was it. Hey, that was our first podcast. Isn't that great? That was nice. So yeah, tune in next time. I'm really into this. This reminds me of like the old radio shows, like from the 30s and 40s that my dad would tell me about when he was a kid during World War II. So yeah, I hope you had a good time, and tune in next time to see what happens on The Dashboard Melted, but we still had the radio. Da-na-na-na-na-na. What's gonna happen to Mulder and Scully? Did Mulder get killed by a Florida panther? No, he didn't. Did Scully pass out? Yes, she did. So we'll see what happens in the next episode of The Dashboard Melted, but we still had the radio. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys.